Immigration group to the press. It's the mass deportations. Stupid. A top immigration advocacy group, America's Voice, the executive director said in a memo, during an election year, with a dizzying volume of immigration news, the most consequential related storyline is the central campaign promise from Donald Trump, which is backed by prominent voices in Congress, to deploy American troops in American communities to conduct a massive roundup, detention, and purge of immigrants who have lived in America for decades, including dreamers. This mass deportation would rip apart American families, communities, and the economy in a way that impacts people across the country regardless of immigration status or direct connections to the foreign-born. We should take this mass deportation promise seriously and devote renewed attention to this potential catastrophe in the weeks and months ahead. While Trump used similar rhetoric and deportation promises during his first campaign and his first term, we feel a potential Trump second administration would be prepared to actually enact this dystopian vision. Trump himself has detailed the specifics at rallies and in his recent Time magazine interview, and that is combined with detailed comments by Stephen Miller in the chilling details of the Heritage Foundation Project 2025. The prospect of hostile troops from red states rolling down the boulevards of blue cities, suburbs, and rural areas to forcibly remove millions of our neighbors, friends, teachers, co-workers ought to be a persistent question posed to every candidate for every office. Do you support this mass deportation vision? Americans will be repulsed by the authoritarian scenes of troops separating families. The visceral reaction across ideologies against Trump's family separation during his first term provides the best model. Trump's plans for mass deportation, are morally abhorrent, economically devastating, and politically disastrous for his campaign and his party. The more people hear about them, the more they take the threats of mass deportation seriously, the more Americans will be repulsed. For Democrats, this can be a unifying message. The conflict between talking tough on the border and supporting legal immigration and legal status for immigrants can be difficult to manage, but the clear and ugly visions of a Trump second term to present the opportunity to make plain the extreme and radical plan of the GOP is embracing. Democrats need to consistently and repeatedly call out the extremism and the extreme consequences of mass deportation. Political observers should take it seriously, and it should be the central immigration focus of the 2024 campaign. It's not an extremist position to want to control the foreign population of another country that travels into your country. It's certainly not an extremist position to have to resort to other measures when these foreigners who do not belong here refuse to leave. That's another thing I want to know too. How are mass deportations going to affect the economy so badly? If you immigrants are going to claim to help out our economy so much, why can't you help out your own economies? Do third world countries not have any economy whatsoever? This is just my opinion here. But instead of trying to force the American people to take in a whole nother population of foreigners under the guise of compassion, why don't you try working with your own local government of your own countries and try to make them more desirable? Number one, have more American families. Number two, reduce the amount of foreign people in this country. Like, if every actual American woman was getting pregnant, I'm 95% sure we wouldn't need as many foreigners, and that would save the economy from being ripped apart, I guess. So I guess in my opinion, it really comes down to two things: banning abortion and banning immigration.